Recently, a lot of game developers have been including MOBA elements into their games. Experiences like Rainbow Six Siege and Black Ops 3 allows players to choose specialists who can contribute uniquely on the battlefield. Now we have two new games who have MOBA elements in their concoction. Gearbox, the developers behind the famous Borderlands series, launched their game Battleborn on May 3rd. Blizzard Entertainment, the developers behind the famous games like World of Warcraft and Heroes of the Storm, launched their game Overwatch on May 24th. These games have been looked at and contrasted over the months due to their similarities, but who is truly better? Some say Battleborn for its multiplayer, while others say Overwatch for its character design. Well, now it's my turn. Ciao ragazzi, my name is Scott, and today we are going to see who will truly win, Battleborn or Overwatch. First of all, a MOBA is a multiplayer online battle arena. Basically, on a huge map, there are two teams who must reach the opposite side and destroy their enemy's main power source. In other MOBAs, the teams need to achieve a major goal to win. There are also obstacles like towers, turrets, machines, etc. that offer support in offense and defense, which makes it harder for teams to accomplish their goals. Each team is made up of characters with special abilities which are used to contribute to the team. A player may choose a tank character as a distraction, while the other offensive player flanks the enemies. In most MOBAs, there are AI minions that are led to certain objectives on the map. For my Overwatch and Battleborn comparison, I would judge them on three things: their MOBA elements, what new things they have to bring to the MOBA formula, and their reward system. Let's get started. First of all, let's talk about Battleborn. In a futuristic setting, a catastrophic event causes almost all of the stars and the planets in the universe to die. But there is one star left, Solus, and 5 surviving factions go to it in hopes to save it for themselves. That is until they realize a greater force was behind the universe dying in the first place. The faction's greatest warriors, the Battleborn, put aside their differences and decide to unite against the catastrophic foe. In both its story and multiplayer modes, Battleborn shows its MOBA elements. There is a roster of 25 playable characters, with 5 in a faction, each with their own skills that can be used strategically on the battlefield. Players can also earn experience with each character. Also, just like a MOBA, Battleborn's multiplayer maps are huge with supportive modules, not necessarily towers, as well as other major objectives to be completed. However, there are a lot of things Battleborn brings that are new to the MOBA table. First of all, while in battle, players have the opportunity to upgrade their characters through the Helix system, where every time a player reaches a new level, they have to choose between 2 options of a skill. These options vary between characters, and the choices made on said options will reset for every battle. For example, if players play as Thorn, they can choose between 2 advantages from her skill, Blight, which summons a field of corruption and deals damage over time. After a player summons Blight, they can either have their arrows cursed permanently, or they can receive a short speed boost. If players play as, let's say, Galilea, they can choose between 2 advantages from her skill, Shield Throw. They can either choose to have their thrown shield hit multiple targets but deal less damage after every impact, or they can choose to throw their shield and prevent the damaged target from healing themselves for 5 seconds. If a player reaches a certain rank with the character, they can unlock a third option between 2 options. This gives the players the ability to change their playstyle in-game while also changing the characters as well. Oscar Mike is an offensive character with his assault rifle, but he can also be more of a stealthy character and deal more damage after being in stealth mode, or he can be more of a supportive character with his airstrikes. However, the Helix system can get repetitive very fast. A player may choose all the left options in the Helix in one battle and may choose all the right options in the next. Even though there are still reasons to play that same character for reward reasons, it wouldn't be as fun anymore because you already know the skills. Compared to Overwatch, the Helix system and the list of options it presents shows innovation for MOBA games and all games in general. But then again, its repetitiveness is more focused on. Now, let's shift towards the multiplayer modes and how they individually bring new things to the MOBA formula. There are 3 modes: Capture, which is self-explanatory, and then there's Meltdown and Incursion. Incursion is where 2 teams each have 2 giant robots, and the objective is to destroy the opposite team's robots. Meltdown is where players must lead their robot minions into these grinding machines, and when they explode on impact, the team gets points. Whoever gets the most points wins. These 2 modes are more MOBA based than Capture, but all 3 modes are also more focused on and can be analyzed for its repetitiveness. However, they offer players the chance to contribute to the environment. For example, players can find shard crystals in battle and can use them to summon aid drones or powerful minions, and it can be used to set up or upgrade machines that offer support. This also gives weaker players the ability to stay behind and focus more on defense and support without not really having to do anything but just find shards and set up the turrets. However, finding shards can distract the player from completing the main objectives, and sometimes a player will only use shards to activate the gear in their loadouts. This brings me to Battleborn's reward system. Compared to Overwatch, Battleborn's reward system is more satisfying and fulfilling after a long day of just grinding. As rewards, players are able to receive experience points for their overall rank and for their rank in the played character, blue credits which can be used to purchase loot packs. Loot packs in general have gears of different variety that can enhance a player's performance, and each gear requires a certain number of shards in order to be activated. Players can also receive new skins, taunts, and especially new characters as well. This reward system encourages players to have a goal and to achieve that goal by literally grinding, which can also get repetitive, but that is the meaning of grinding after all. All in all, Battleborn is an entertaining game with a lot of satisfying content and well-balanced characters, but it can be easily analyzed for its unfortunate repetitiveness. Compared to Overwatch, Overwatch brings a new perspective to what a MOBA could be like. Let's actually talk about Overwatch for a second.
My family tells of an ancient legend about 2 great dragon brothers.
In a distant future, robots known as the Omnics all of a sudden started attacking countries all around the world. In this chaos, the UN decided to form a team full of specialists codenamed the Overwatch. As time flew by, the Overwatch grew and were able to defeat the Omnics, restoring peace to the world. However, several years later, there were major attacks around the world that were being blamed on the Overwatch. Plus, the Overwatch themselves were becoming divided. All the tension and pressure literally blew up when the Overwatch HQ got destroyed and 2 of its members died. Now the members of the Overwatch do their own things and follow their own paths. And even though they are scattered throughout the world, they hope to one day bring down the bad guys and become united again. Before I describe Overwatch's MOBA elements, let me just say how awesome this story is, and in my opinion it's better than Battleborn's. But let me also say how it's extremely disappointing that there isn't a campaign at launch. This story has so much potential and so much character depth can be explored, but the fact that there isn't a campaign just shows a lack of significant content. I'm not saying that Overwatch isn't fun without a campaign, but a campaign would give players an extra experience to venture into. Now, when it comes to its MOBA elements, it's more appropriate to say that Overwatch isn't really a MOBA. I mean, like a MOBA, it has a large roster of characters which are evenly divided into 4 fighting types: offensive, defensive, tanks, and supportive. Also, some aspects of its reward system is also like a MOBA's, and there are co-op versus AI modes, which is important for new players to challenge and level themselves up. But it's not a MOBA. Let me try to explain. I wouldn't say Overwatch brings more to the MOBA table I'd say that it shows a new perspective. Unlike a MOBA where players need to weaken the opposite team by destroying their minions and towers and eventually eliminating the main power source, Overwatch only has two modes. One mode is where there's a defending team and an attacking team. The attack team needs to capture the defending team's object and then escort it to a final checkpoint. The defending team needs to prevent the attacking team from capturing the object in the first place, but if they fail, they must prevent them from reaching the final checkpoint. Another mode that they have is like a round-based capture the flag type of mode. What's cool is that before every match, your team will be analyzed, and you'll see if you have either too little or too much of a type of character. Maybe you have a team that is more offensive than defensive, and so it will advise you to choose characters that are more defensive. Frankly, Overwatch may be the first game in general to ever do this. Another thing Overwatch does that is foreign to the MOBA genre is that in battle, players can switch between different characters in-game. This is really innovative because it gives players the chance to change the scale of the battle. I remember during the beta, I was in this match and my team were going to lose. Even though no one had mics, we somehow decided to all be Bastion, the highly powered Omnic robot who can turn into a tank. And then we wrecked the other team. However, I feel like a lot of Overwatch's characters seem unbalanced in terms of skills. There are some characters who have more skills and more powerful skills than others. How come if Winston were to be attacked by a Reaper, Winston would immediately die? And don't tell me it's because Reaper's shotgun bullets. Winston's armor is bulletproof after all. This will make players only choose the more offensive and powerful characters, rather than choosing characters that can support their team. Besides that unfortunate fact, I will have to say that in my opinion, it's easier to get kills in Overwatch rather than it is in Battleborn. Gameplay in Overwatch feels more fluid and fast-paced, which is good for players who are more associated with the FPS genre. Overwatch's multiplayer maps offer verticality and a lot of vantage points for players to enable their skills from above. And let's say the battle is getting too intense or neither team has completed their objective. When the match is over, there is an extra time known as overtime, where players have one final attempt to win. After every match, a player will be highlighted if they got the most kills in the fastest way and the coolest way possible. A lot of people would use Hanzo's infamous ability, Dragon Strike, to literally destroy so many enemies in a short time. Players can choose who they think was the best player in the entire match, which presents a democratic system for players to dive into as well. Now, Overwatch may seem fun with its fast-paced gameplay and lovable, yet unbalanced characters, but I think its greatest downfall is its reward system and lack of content. Like when it comes to the reward systems, and when players reach a new level rank, they receive loot packs. But these loot packs only have new skins, taunts, new highlight intros, and some minor stuff. You can't even earn new characters because they let you play with all of the characters when you begin. And even though that may seem compassionate of Blizzard Entertainment, it still removes the purpose of setting up a goal to get your dream character. Plus, add this to the lack of content Overwatch had at launch, and you'll see why Overwatch can be a very repetitive game with no goal. This game is a cluster of fast-paced action and it's very entertaining with a high replay value, but due to its lack of content and bad reward system, or not bad, but minor reward system, players will be able to set up a major goal besides getting kills and getting new skins and taunts. Now, you know what's funny is that you guys already knew about Overwatch. You guys already knew all about Battleborn, but you're probably at a place where you're wondering, like, which is better? Which game should I get? You're probably going to go to GameStop right now and see these two games right next to each other, and you're thinking in your head, which one would satisfy me more? So which game is better? Battleborn or Overwatch? And the answer is, drumroll please. Thank you. Neither! Okay, look. I know. You came to watch this video to see if one game was better than the other. You came to watch this video to see a statement that was objective. to see me say something that was fact. But the thing is that when it comes to comparing games or reviewing games in general, there will always be a subjective statement. Some say that Battleborn is good for its humor.
No matter how many times I see him, Buraxis portals never stop freaking me out.
Yes, well, that's a natural response to an impossible thing. Did you know that mathematically, Buraxis portals don't exist? It's expected that a feeble mind would have some difficulty comprehending a physical paradox.
Feeble mind? The hell's that supposed to mean?
Oh, I'm sorry. That means I think you're stupid.
While others say that Battleborn's humor sucks. Some say Overwatch is awesome. While others say Overwatch is boring. The funny thing is that both Overwatch and Battleborn cancel each other out. Battleborn has more content and Overwatch doesn't, but Overwatch is more fast-paced and Battleborn is more slow. Comparing these games is like comparing ice cream and candy. Like which is better? Both of these games are different. And I told you guys that while Battleborn brings more innovation to the MOBA genre, Overwatch isn't really a MOBA, and all it does is show a new perspective of what a MOBA could be like. Both of these games were good, and even though I played the betas, I still enjoyed these games very much. And despite what I'm telling you guys now, get these games. Get both of these games if you want to. Try to unlock Gold with your friends in Battleborn. Or try to get the White Reaper costume in Overwatch. Or try to get both. Either way, have fun while you still have a heartbeat. And here's something I found out while I was researching the stories for both games. See, Gearbox, like I said in the beginning, is known for creating the Borderlands series. So you already know there's going to be future content. And I saw an article somewhere where Blizzard Entertainment stated that new content for Overwatch will be coming in the future. This is a promise that is for them. This is a promise that they have to keep to the player. And frankly, I'm just a reviewer. It's not my problem. Anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and tell me in the comments below what you think of Overwatch and Battleborn. Also, let's try to get to 200 subscribers before August of 2016. That way I can start my own shoutout series. I want to thank everyone who gave me permission to use their videos in this comparing review.